Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today with a message that resonates deep within my spirit. Unlock your limitations. You see, each of us carries the keys to our own destinies, yet so many of us remain confined within the walls of self-doubt, fear, and past failures. Today, I want to help you find those keys and open the door to a future filled with possibility. In every one of us lies a potential and inner power that, if unlocked, can transform our lives and touch those around us. But often this power remains dormant, hidden behind layers of self-doubt, fears, and past hurts. To truly unlock our limitations, we first need to identify what holds us back. This is the starting line on the journey to personal freedom, where we begin to shed the false beliefs and burdens that have kept us bound. We may not realize it, but every limitation has a story. It is rooted in an experience, a word, or even an expectation we have internalized over time. These limitations do not arise in a single moment. They are cultivated over years, often without us even being aware. They become a part of us like the water in which a fish swims, surrounding us so thoroughly that they shape our decisions, beliefs, and even our self-worth. We all carry different chains, and these chains are uniquely ours. For some, the limitation might be the fear of failure. Every time an opportunity arises, this fear whispers in our minds, reminding us of the times we stumbled. It's as if every past misstep or shortfall comes back to haunt us, saying, remember the last time you tried, and look what happened over time. This fear becomes a voice that speaks louder than our dreams, louder than our desires to succeed. It becomes a wall that grows higher every time we choose to play it safe rather than to take a risk. This wall blocks our view of what could be, and soon we come to believe that what we see in front of us is all there is. We start thinking that failure is our destiny rather than a temporary setback on the path to success. For others, the chain may be a deep-seated belief in their inadequacy. This belief may have started from a single moment, perhaps a critical comment from a loved one, a teacher, or even a peer. It might have been a moment when someone they respected made them feel small, unintelligent, or unworthy. But over time, these feelings turn into a narrative, a story about who they are and what they're capable of achieving. They begin to approach life with a hesitancy, a reluctance to step into the spotlight, convinced that they're just not enough. This is a limitation that can be devastating because it goes to the core of a person's identity. When you feel inadequate, you don't just doubt your actions, you doubt yourself. You look at your reflection and see someone who is unworthy of greatness. It becomes hard to dream because in your mind, your dreams are not for you, they're for someone else, someone better. Yet another limitation that often binds us is the weight of past experiences. We all have a history, and some of those histories come with wounds that are hard to heal. Perhaps you've gone through a betrayal, heartbreak, or a period of intense struggle that left a mark on your soul. These moments of pain create scars that over time can harden into barriers. We learn to protect ourselves, to guard our hearts because we don't want to go through the same pain again. But in protecting ourselves, we also build walls that keep us from living fully. These walls shield us not only from potential harm, but also from potential joy, from the possibility of love, success, and fulfillment. The past becomes a prison, a place where we feel safe, but stagnant, protected, but paralyzed. Then there are those who are limited by the expectations of others. Perhaps from an early age, they were told who they were supposed to be, what they were supposed to achieve, and how they were supposed to live. These expectations can come from family, culture, or society at large, and they weigh heavily on our shoulders. We feel the pressure to meet these expectations to become the person others want us to be. But in doing so, we lose touch with our authentic selves. We begin living a life that is not our own, driven by the desire to please others rather than to fulfill our purpose. This is a limitation that can be particularly difficult to break because it is so deeply intertwined with our relationships and sense of belonging. We fear that if we disappoint others, we will be rejected. And so we remain bound, living a life that feels increasingly hollow and untrue. It's essential to understand that these limitations, no matter how strong they may seem, are not the truth of who we are. They are like shadows that have followed us for so long that we have mistaken them for our identity. But in reality, they are just that, shadows cast by the light of our fears and experiences. They are not solid. They can be shifted, reshaped, and ultimately overcome. The first step is to recognize them, to name them, and to understand where they come from. We must be willing to look within ourselves and ask the hard questions. Where did this fear start? Why do I believe I am not enough? What experiences have shaped me in ways that no longer serve me? This self-exploration requires courage because it means facing parts of ourselves that we may have buried for years. As we go through this process, we may feel vulnerable, exposed, even uncomfortable. But this is where true growth begins. By identifying the chains that bind us, we take away their power. We stop being controlled by unconscious fears and start living with intention. We begin to see that we are not defined by our limitations. Rather, we are defined by our willingness to confront them, to challenge them, and to rise above them. This journey of self-discovery is not easy, but it is essential. Each limitation that we identify is a step closer to unlocking our full potential, to becoming the person we were meant to be. When we begin to see our limitations for what they are, we open the door to a life of greater freedom, joy, and fulfillment. We start to understand that we are not bound by our past, our fears, or the expectations of others. We are free to create a future that is aligned with our true selves. The chains may feel heavy, but they are not unbreakable. We have the power to unlock our limitations, to step out of the shadows, and to embrace a life of purpose and possibility. All it takes is the courage to start. Fear has a way of gripping our lives so tightly that it holds us back from reaching our fullest potential. It is one of the most powerful limitations, creeping into our minds in moments of uncertainty and whispering lies about what we cannot do, where we cannot go, and who we will never become. The truth, however, is that fear is often nothing more than a distorted lens through which we see ourselves and our potential. The way we respond to fear determines whether it will shackle us or set us free. Understanding fear and our relationship to it can reveal how deeply it affects the choices we make, the dreams we pursue, and even the confidence we bring to each day. It's only by breaking free from fear that we unlock our true strength, potential, and purpose. Fear is often born from our past experiences. Maybe there was a time when we took a leap, when we stretched beyond what we thought was possible, only to stumble or fall. Those moments, though often natural parts of growth, leave behind scars that make us wary of trying again. We convince ourselves that taking risks will only lead to pain, disappointment, or embarrassment, and over time, we avoid situations that challenge us. Instead of expanding, we stay in our comfort zones, letting fear dictate the boundaries of our lives. And we build walls around ourselves, shutting out any possibility that could lead to failure. But these walls also shut out the light of possibility. They keep us safe, yes, but they also keep us small. We remain within the narrow limits of the familiar, all because we're afraid of what lies beyond. In doing so, we deny ourselves the opportunity to grow, to learn, and to discover the depth of our resilience and strength. Fear is not inherently bad. It's a natural response meant to protect us from danger. However, when we allow it to influence every decision, it becomes a prison that traps us from truly living. Imagine what life would be like if we approached every opportunity with a fearless spirit. Imagine stepping into challenges with the belief that even if we fail, we will learn, grow, and become stronger. Fear of failure stops us from realizing that setbacks are often stepping stones in disguise, that sometimes a failure can open doors to success we hadn't even considered. But when fear is allowed to have the final word, we remain stagnant, convincing ourselves that we're avoiding pain, when in reality, we're only avoiding growth. One of the greatest tragedies of fear is that it robs us of joy. It makes us anticipate the worst, even in the best situations. We start to question our happiness, second-guessing our decisions, wondering if they will eventually lead to heartache. Even in moments of triumph, fear lurks, whispering that success might be fleeting, that joy might be temporary, that fulfillment might be a mirage. Instead of living fully, we end up holding back, bracing for some hypothetical disaster that may never even come to pass. We live half-heartedly, neither embracing life with open arms nor savoring its sweetness. Fear becomes a shadow over every victory, a cloud over every sunny day. Fear also affects how we see ourselves. It creates a distorted self-image, one that says we're not capable, not strong enough, not smart enough. This distorted image can be so deeply ingrained that it blinds us to our actual abilities. We see ourselves as small, limited, inadequate, because that is what fear tells us. We stop trying because we assume we'll fail. We stay quiet because we assume no one will listen. And we stay put because we assume we'll never make it. But these are lies that fear wants us to believe, lies that strip us of confidence, courage, and self-respect. The reality is that we are capable of so much more than we realize, but we won't see that until we're willing to push past our fear. One powerful way to conquer fear is to confront it head on. This doesn't mean recklessly diving into situations without thought, but rather facing what scares us with courage and clarity. When we confront our fears, we begin to see them for what they are: illusions that lose power the moment we step into them. For example, a person who fears public speaking might imagine failure and embarrassment if they get up in front of an audience. But by actually facing that fear, by practicing, preparing, and finally speaking, they may find that not only do they survive the experience, but they might actually enjoy it. They may realize that the fear was never about public speaking itself, but about the fear of judgment or rejection. And once that underlying fear is addressed, it no longer has power. Confronting fear helps us build resilience, and resilience is a skill that will serve us in every aspect of life. Another approach to breaking free from fear is to change our perspective on failure itself. Too often we see failure as the end, as a confirmation of our worst fears about ourselves. But failure can be a teacher, a mentor that shows us the areas where we need to grow. Failure is not an enemy, but a friend guiding us towards self-improvement. When we change our perspective on failure, we become less afraid of it. We begin to see that each setback is simply a stepping stone, a lesson that will help us achieve success in the future. In this way, fear loses its sting because failure is no longer something to be dreaded, but something to be embraced and learned from. The role of faith also becomes crucial in overcoming fear. Faith and fear cannot coexist. They are like oil and water. Faith allows us to believe in something greater than ourselves, to trust that there is a purpose even in our struggles. When we hold on to faith, we find the courage to walk through fear, knowing that there is a reason for every trial and a lesson in every challenge. Faith doesn't mean that fear will completely vanish, but it gives us the strength to walk forward in spite of it. With faith, we gain the confidence to face what lies ahead, believing that we are never alone, that we are guided and supported every step of the way. Breaking free from fear doesn't happen overnight. It's a process that requires patience, self-compassion, and courage. But each step we take away from fear is a step toward freedom. Every time we challenge our fears, we chip away at the walls that have held us back. We begin to live with a sense of possibility, a renewed sense of confidence, and a clarity that was once clouded by fear. We learn that life is meant to be lived fully, to be savored, and to be embraced with open arms. Fear may still come knocking from time to time, but once we understand it, once we confront it, and once we choose faith over it, we become unstoppable. Fear may be a part of life, but it no longer has to be the part that defines us. There is a deep, undeniable truth that each of us was born with a purpose, a unique calling woven into the very fabric of our being. This purpose is not something we randomly stumble upon. It is a seed planted within us from the beginning, a potential that, if nurtured, can grow into something beautiful, impactful, and fulfilling. However, embracing this purpose is not always straightforward. We live in a world filled with distractions, expectations, and pressures, each pulling us in different directions. This noise can drown out the quiet, steady voice within us that knows why we're here and what we're meant to do. When we fail to embrace our purpose, we end up feeling empty and adrift, caught in routines that offer no true satisfaction. Embracing our purpose, however, brings clarity, direction, and a sense of fulfillment that nothing else can provide. Once we start to identify our purpose, embracing it requires courage. Following our purpose means stepping out of the familiar, the comfortable, and the predictable. It often involves moving against the current, choosing a path that others may not understand or approve of. This can be challenging, especially if we've grown up with certain expectations placed upon us. Maybe our family expects us to pursue a specific career, or society has labeled success in a way that doesn't align with our true calling. In these moments, embracing our purpose requires us to be brave enough to listen to our own heart. Even when the world is pulling us in a different direction, it is about choosing authenticity over approval, fulfillment over acceptance. When we stand firm in our purpose, we begin to experience a sense of wholeness, a feeling of being exactly where we are meant to be, doing exactly what we are meant to do. Embracing our purpose is also a journey of self-acceptance. Each of us has been given a unique set of gifts, talents, and experiences that are all part of our purpose. These gifts are like tools, each one adding to the richness and depth of what we bring to the world. However, embracing our gifts is not always easy. We may feel that our talents are not enough, or that they don't measure up to the standards set by others. We might look at someone else's gifts and think they are better or more important, comparing ourselves and feeling inadequate. But our purpose is not about being like someone else. It is about becoming fully ourselves. When we accept and embrace our unique gifts, we begin to see that our differences are not limitations, but strengths. We start to understand that our purpose is not diminished by someone else's success or talent. In fact, our individuality enhances the world in ways only we can provide. The beauty of embracing our purpose is that it often leads to unexpected fulfillment and joy. When we are aligned with our purpose, our work no longer feels like a burden, but rather a privilege. We find meaning in our actions and significance in our contributions. There is a certain lightness that comes from knowing we are doing something that resonates with our spirit, something that feels right and true. This doesn't mean that following our purpose is always easy. There will be challenges, moments of doubt, and even setbacks. But when we are rooted in our purpose, we have a source of strength and resilience that sustains us through difficulties. We learn to see obstacles not as barriers, but as opportunities for growth, as part of the journey that refines us and helps us to become better versions of ourselves. Another aspect of embracing our purpose is the impact it has on others. Our purpose is never just about us, it is about the contribution we make to the world. When we live in alignment with our calling, we naturally inspire and uplift those around us. We become a source of encouragement, a light in the lives of others, showing them what is possible when we dare to follow our path. Our actions, no matter how small, have a ripple effect, touching the lives of people we may never even meet. Embracing our purpose is, in many ways, an act of service. It is about using our gifts, our time, and our energy to make a difference, to add value, and to leave a positive mark on the world. This sense of contribution not only brings us joy, but also fills our lives with a profound sense of meaning. It's important to remember that embracing our purpose is a continuous journey. Purpose is not a destination we reach, it is a path we walk every day. As we grow and evolve, our understanding of our purpose may deepen or shift, leading us to new experiences, new challenges, and new discoveries about ourselves. Embracing purpose requires flexibility, a willingness to adapt, and a commitment to keep moving forward even when the path is unclear. There will be times when we question ourselves, times when the way forward seems uncertain, but if we stay true to our purpose, trusting that each step is part of a larger plan, we find that we are guided even when the road is difficult. Living with purpose also means letting go of fear and doubt, embracing the fullness of who we are, and allowing ourselves to be seen. This can be challenging because purpose often requires vulnerability, a willingness to show up as our authentic selves. We may feel exposed, even uncomfortable, as we reveal parts of ourselves that we have kept hidden. But this is the beauty of purpose. It invites us to live fully, to embrace both our strengths and our weaknesses, to be real, open, and true. When we live in alignment with our purpose, we are no longer defined by the opinions or expectations of others. We are free to be who we are, to walk our own path, and to create a life that reflects our deepest values and beliefs. Embracing purpose is ultimately a commitment to live with intention. It is about choosing each day to show up, to give our best, and to trust that our life has meaning, even when we cannot see the full picture. This journey is not without challenges, but it is one of the most rewarding paths we can take. When we embrace our purpose, we discover a life that is rich, fulfilling, and deeply satisfying, a life that resonates with who we truly are. We realize that we are not here by accident, that our lives matter, and that by living our purpose, we create a legacy of love, hope, and inspiration that will endure long after we are gone. The people we surround ourselves with have an undeniable impact on our lives. Their influence seeps into our thoughts, beliefs, and ultimately our actions. Just as a garden flourishes when tended by a skilled gardener, our lives flourish when nurtured by people who encourage, uplift, and inspire us to grow. In the same way, however, the wrong influences can limit our potential, suffocate our dreams, and keep us stagnant. Recognizing this impact is essential if we want to unlock our full potential and break free from limitations that may be imposed, even subconsciously, by those around us. The relationships we choose to invest in can either propel us forward or pull us back, so it is critical to choose wisely, surrounding ourselves with people who genuinely want to see us succeed and are willing to challenge us to rise above the ordinary. Too often, we underestimate the power of relationships, especially those that are closest to us. We may assume that simply because we have known someone for years, they are good for us, or that just because someone has always been a part of our lives, they should remain there. But not every relationship is meant to last forever. Some people come into our lives to teach us lessons, to walk with us through specific seasons, and to help us become stronger. As we grow and evolve, our needs, goals, and values may change. The people who once felt right in our lives may no longer align with the path we're on, and that's okay. What's important is to acknowledge when a relationship is no longer supportive of our growth. It doesn't mean we have to cut ties completely, but it does mean we should be intentional about the energy and influence we allow into our lives. Surrounding ourselves with the right people is about more than just avoiding negative influences. It's about actively seeking relationships that enrich our lives. Think of the people who challenge you to think bigger, who inspire you to push past your comfort zone, and who genuinely celebrate your successes. These are the individuals who see your potential even when you may doubt it, who believe in your dreams even when you struggle to believe in them yourself. They are the ones who, instead of fueling your doubts, fuel your ambition. These are the types of people who remind you of your worth and encourage you to reach higher, to aim for something greater, and to keep going even when the journey gets tough. They don't just tell you what you want to hear, they tell you what you need to hear, even if it's uncomfortable. They hold you accountable to your goals, pushing you to keep your eyes on the bigger picture and refusing to let you settle for less than what you're capable of achieving. The company we keep also has a profound effect on our mindset and perspective. When we are surrounded by people who complain, criticize, or are generally pessimistic, we begin to adopt those habits ourselves. It's a gradual process that we may not even notice at first, but eventually it can cloud our outlook, making us focus on limitations rather than possibilities. And negative mindsets can spread like a virus, infecting our thoughts, dragging us down, and making us feel as if our dreams are out of reach. However, when we surround ourselves with positive-driven individuals, we begin to see the world through a different lens. These people view obstacles as opportunities. They face challenges with resilience, and they approach life with enthusiasm. Their optimism and drive become contagious, lifting us up and encouraging us to adopt a mindset of growth, possibility, and determination. One of the greatest benefits of surrounding ourselves with the right people is the sense of accountability they provide. When we share our goals and dreams with others who genuinely care about our progress, we feel a greater sense of responsibility to follow through. It's no longer just about us. We have people cheering us on, people who believe in our ability to succeed. This accountability creates a support system that keeps us focused, motivated, and resilient. When we face setbacks, these individuals are there to remind us of our why, to help us refocus, and to encourage us to keep pushing forward. They remind us of our strengths, our purpose, and the reasons why we started in the first place. Having people like this in our lives serves as a reminder that we don't have to go it alone. We have allies who are invested in our success and who are willing to walk with us every step of the way. However, choosing the right people also means having the courage to distance ourselves from those who drain our energy or discourage our dreams. This is not always easy, especially if these individuals are longtime friends, family members, or people we care about deeply. But growth requires us to make difficult choices. If we truly want to rise above our limitations, we must be willing to set boundaries with those who constantly bring us down. This doesn't mean cutting people out of our lives entirely, but it does mean being mindful of how much influence they have over us. Limiting time with those who consistently bring negativity can be an act of self-preservation, a way of safeguarding our energy and focus. We can love people from a distance, respecting the relationship, but understanding that our growth requires us to prioritize our well-being. Building a network of positive, supportive people is a process that takes time and intention. It requires us to be open, to seek out individuals who align with our values and goals, and to be willing to invest in those relationships. These people don't just show up out of nowhere. We have to actively engage, connect, and nurture these relationships. This might mean stepping out of our comfort zones, attending events, joining groups, or even seeking mentors who can guide us along our journey. The right people may not always come from the places we expect. Sometimes they come from new environments, fresh experiences, or unexpected encounters. But when we make an effort to cultivate a circle of like-minded, growth-oriented individuals, the impact on our lives can be transformative. There is a profound sense of empowerment that comes from knowing we are surrounded by people who want the best for us. It gives us confidence, reminding us that we are capable and worthy of achieving our dreams. We begin to realize that we are not alone in our journey, that there are people who believe in us, who support us, and who are cheering us on. This sense of community fosters resilience, strength, and courage, enabling us to overcome obstacles that might otherwise seem insurmountable. When we surround ourselves with the right people, we unlock a level of potential that we may not have known existed within us. We are no longer limited by the doubts, fears, or judgments of others. Instead, we are propelled by a collective energy that pushes us to be the best versions of ourselves. Ultimately, surrounding ourselves with the right people is about choosing relationships that elevate us, challenge us, and inspire us. It's about recognizing the power of influence and being intentional about the company we keep. By surrounding ourselves with individuals who reflect the qualities we aspire to embody, we set ourselves up for a life of growth, purpose, and fulfillment. We align ourselves with people who believe in the possibilities ahead, who see our potential, and who encourage us to go beyond our self-imposed limitations. And in doing so, we create an environment that not only supports our dreams, but also fosters the courage and determination needed to bring those dreams to life. Resilience is one of the most crucial qualities we can cultivate in our lives. It's the ability to withstand hardship, adapt to difficult circumstances, and keep moving forward despite challenges. Life will always have its share of struggles, setbacks, and unexpected obstacles. That's something none of us can avoid. But what we can control is our response to these situations, and resilience allows us to respond from a place of strength, wisdom, and determination. Resilience is not about pretending everything is okay or ignoring pain and adversity. It's about acknowledging these challenges while choosing to rise above them. By building resilience, we create a foundation of inner strength that enables us to grow through what we go through, using each experience as fuel to propel us toward our goals and dreams. Resilience begins with our mindset. How we perceive challenges, failures, and setbacks determines how we will respond to them. People who cultivate resilience see adversity as an opportunity for growth rather than as a barrier. They understand that difficulties are a natural part of life and that every challenge carries a lesson. This mindset shift transforms problems into possibilities, reframing obstacles as opportunities to learn, improve, and become stronger. Instead of asking, why me, resilient individuals ask, what can I learn from this, or how can I grow through this experience? This proactive approach enables them to stay hopeful and motivated even when the going gets tough. They recognize that adversity is temporary, that there is always a way forward, and that each challenge is a chance to become a better version of themselves. Building resilience also requires self-awareness and emotional intelligence. When we face difficult situations, it's natural to feel overwhelmed, frustrated, or even defeated. But resilient individuals don't suppress or ignore these emotions. They acknowledge them, process them, and then make a conscious decision to move forward. Self-awareness allows us to recognize our emotional triggers, understand our reactions, and choose responses that are constructive rather than destructive. Emotional intelligence, on the other hand, helps us navigate our emotions and maintain control over our actions, even when we feel stressed or challenged. By developing these skills, we build a strong foundation of resilience that enables us to stay grounded, focused, and determined, even in the face of adversity. One of the essential components of resilience is adaptability. Life rarely goes according to plan, and unexpected changes can easily throw us off course. Resilient individuals understand that flexibility is a key ingredient in navigating life's uncertainties. They are willing to adjust their plans, change their approach, and adapt to new circumstances. Rather than resisting change, they embrace it as part of the journey, recognizing that each shift is an opportunity to grow and learn. This adaptability is what enables resilient people to bounce back quickly from setbacks. They don't dwell on what could have been instead. They focus on what they can do next. They remain open to new possibilities, willing to reinvent themselves if necessary, and they understand that their ability to succeed depends on their willingness to evolve. Another powerful aspect of resilience is perseverance. Challenges are rarely overcome in a single effort. They require persistence, commitment, and dedication. Resilient individuals are not deterred by initial failures or setbacks. They recognize that success is a marathon, not a sprint, and they are willing to put in the effort required to achieve their goals. When they encounter obstacles, they keep pushing forward, often trying multiple approaches until they find a solution. This perseverance comes from a deep-rooted belief in their ability to succeed, even if the journey is longer or harder than expected. Resilient people are not easily discouraged by rejection, failure, or criticism. They understand that each attempt brings them one step closer to their goals, and they are willing to keep trying until they reach the finish line. An essential part of resilience is having a strong sense of purpose. When we are connected to a purpose, a goal, or a mission that is meaningful to us, we find the strength to keep going even when the journey gets tough. Purpose gives us a reason to persevere. It fuels our motivation and helps us maintain a positive outlook. Resilient people often have a clear sense of why they do what they do, and this purpose acts as an anchor during difficult times. Whether it's a commitment to family, a desire to make a difference, or a passion for their work, resilient individuals draw strength from their sense of purpose. This purpose becomes a guiding light, reminding them that the challenges they face are worth it and that their efforts are contributing to something greater than themselves. Support systems also play a crucial role in building resilience. While resilience is an inner strength, it is often supported by the presence of people who encourage, uplift, and believe in us. Having friends, family, mentors, or colleagues who provide support during difficult times makes a significant difference in our ability to bounce back. These relationships offer us a safe space to share our struggles, gain perspective, and receive encouragement when we need it most. Resilient individuals don't isolate themselves. When they face challenges, they reach out, seek guidance, and lean on the people who care about them. This support network becomes a source of strength, reminding them that they are not alone in their journey. The encouragement, advice, and compassion they receive from others can be the push they need to keep going, even when they feel like giving up. Lastly, building resilience requires self-compassion. We all face moments of struggle, moments of trial, moments when we make mistakes, or moments when we fall short of our expectations. Resilient people understand the importance of treating themselves with kindness and compassion during these times. They recognize that failure is a part of life, that setbacks do not define their worth, and that they are deserving of understanding and forgiveness. Instead of being overly critical or harsh with themselves, resilient individuals offer themselves grace. This self-compassion allows them to recover quickly from failure, learn from their mistakes, and continue moving forward. It enables them to view setbacks as part of the learning process rather than as a reflection of their worth or ability. Resilience is not a trait that we are born with. It is a skill that we can develop over time. Every challenge we face, every setback we overcome, and every difficulty we endure helps us build resilience. Each time we choose to persevere in the face of adversity, we strengthen our ability to handle future challenges. It's a journey that requires patience, commitment, and a willingness to grow. But as we cultivate resilience, we unlock a level of strength and potential that enables us to navigate life's ups and downs with confidence, courage, and grace. We become stronger, wiser, and more capable of facing whatever life may throw our way. Resilience transforms us from being defined by our circumstances to being defined by our ability to rise above them, empowering us to above them life of purpose, growth, improvement, and fulfillment. Growth is essential to living a fulfilling life, and true growth requires us to step outside of our comfort zones. Our comfort zone is where things feel familiar, safe, and manageable, but it's also where we remain stagnant, where our potential remains untapped, and where we risk settling for less than we're capable of achieving. We often feel an inherent desire to seek stability and avoid the unknown, and this is a natural part of being human. However, to reach our fullest potential, we must learn to resist the urge to stay comfortable. Growth happens in the unfamiliar, the challenging, and even the uncomfortable parts of life. It is within these spaces that we discover strengths we didn't know we had, build resilience we didn't know we needed, and develop perspectives that enable us to live a richer, more meaningful life. When we remain within the boundaries of our comfort zones, we limit ourselves to what we already know and what we are already capable of doing. This often leads to predictable outcomes, which can make life feel stagnant and repetitive. While comfort brings a certain level of peace and stability, it can also be a barrier to progress and achievement. We risk becoming complacent, operating on autopilot, and losing sight of the dreams and ambitions that once excited us. Comfort lulls us into a false sense of satisfaction, but deep down we may feel that something is missing. It is when we dare to stretch beyond our comfort that we start to feel alive, inspired, and fully engaged with life. Pushing ourselves into new, challenging experiences brings variety, excitement, and a renewed sense of purpose. It reignites our passion, challenges our minds, and creates an environment where we can discover and refine our capabilities. Stepping out of our comfort zones is crucial for personal growth because it allows us to embrace failure and learn from it. Failure is often viewed as something to avoid, something shameful or discouraging. But in reality, failure is one of the greatest teachers in life. When we push ourselves into new territories, we inevitably encounter obstacles and setbacks. These experiences teach us valuable lessons about ourselves, our abilities, and the areas in which we need to improve. Each failure becomes a stepping stone, a chance to refine our skills and strategies. Embracing failure as a natural part of growth allows us to develop resilience, adaptability, and a growth-oriented mindset. Instead of fearing failure, we learn to view it as a necessary part of the journey, a chance to become stronger, smarter, and more prepared for future challenges. Leaving our comfort zones also enables us to confront and overcome fear. Fear is often the biggest obstacle keeping us from growth and is deeply rooted in the unknown. When we stay within our comfort zones, we are shielded from situations that trigger our anxieties or insecurities. However, by doing so, we allow our fears to hold power over us. Facing our fears head-on the other hand, allows us to strip them of their control over our lives. Each time we confront a fear, we weaken its grip on us, proving to ourselves that we are capable of handling what once seemed intimidating. Confronting fear not only builds courage, but also empowers us to take on new challenges with confidence. Over time, as we continue to push past our fears, we expand our comfort zone, making us more resilient and adaptable in the face of future challenges. Growth also requires us to adopt a mindset of curiosity and openness. When we're comfortable, we are often less inclined to question, explore, or seek new perspectives. We may become attached to our routines and ways of thinking, which can limit our understanding of the world around us. However, stepping out of our comfort zones requires us to become curious, to ask questions, and to explore unfamiliar ideas or experiences. This curiosity opens the door to a world of learning and discovery. We expose ourselves to different cultures, perspectives, and ways of thinking, each of which broadens our understanding and enhances our empathy. By embracing curiosity, we cultivate a mindset that is open to change, willing to learn, and eager to grow. We become more adaptable, more accepting of differences, and more capable of navigating a complex and diverse world. Expanding beyond our comfort zones also strengthens our ability to handle stress and uncertainty. Life is unpredictable, and despite our best efforts to create stability, we will inevitably face unexpected challenges. People who have spent time stretching their comfort zones are better equipped to handle stress and uncertainty because they have learned to navigate unfamiliar situations. They have practiced managing anxiety, staying calm in the face of discomfort, and making decisions under pressure. Each new experience outside our comfort zone becomes a rehearsal for life's bigger challenges, teaching us how to stay grounded, focused, and resilient even in difficult situations. This emotional resilience is invaluable, allowing us to remain adaptable and composed when life throws us curveballs, helping us to thrive in an ever-changing world. Another powerful benefit of stepping out of our comfort zones is the development of self-confidence. When we push ourselves to try new things, take risks, or face our fears, we prove to ourselves that we are capable of more than we initially believed. Each small success builds upon the last, gradually increasing our confidence and belief in our abilities. Confidence is not something that simply appears, it is earned through experience, trial, and perseverance. The more we step into unfamiliar situations and succeed, the more we trust ourselves and our ability to handle future challenges. This self-assurance fuels our ambition, enabling us to set bigger goals and pursue them with greater conviction. It reminds us that we are capable of handling whatever comes our way, making us more willing to take on challenges that once seemed daunting or out of reach. Additionally, breaking out of our comfort zones cultivates creativity and innovation. When we are constantly exposed to the same environments, routines, and challenges, our thinking can become limited. We rely on familiar strategies and ideas which may stifle our ability to think creatively. However, when we introduce ourselves to new experiences, we stimulate our minds and invite fresh ideas. New environments, people, and perspectives inspire us to think differently, to look at problems from new angles, and to approach challenges with innovative solutions. Creativity flourishes in the unknown, and stepping out of our comfort zones provides the mental stimulation needed to unlock new levels of creativity. This creative thinking enhances our problem-solving abilities, making us more resourceful and effective in both personal pursuits and professional pursuits. Finally, stepping out of our comfort zones enriches our lives with memorable experiences. The moments that make life truly meaningful and memorable often occur when we're willing to take a leap of faith, try something new, or venture into the unknown. These experiences become stories, memories, and achievements that we carry with us. They remind us of our strength, our resilience, and our capacity for growth. By daring to leave the comfort of familiarity, we create a life filled with rich, fulfilling experiences that contribute to our personal growth, our happiness, and our overall sense of purpose. We build a legacy of courage, ambition, and curiosity, a life that reflects our willingness to explore, grow, and embrace all that life has to offer. Stepping out of our comfort zones is not always easy, but it is one of the most rewarding things we can do for ourselves. It challenges us to face our fears, broaden our perspectives, and cultivate resilience, confidence, and creativity. By choosing growth over comfort, we unlock our potential, create meaningful experiences, and become stronger, more fulfilled individuals. The path may be uncertain, but it leads to a life that is rich, purposeful, and filled with the joy of continuous discovery.